Hello, good evening and welcome to the RTD's English news. The major story of this Friday 19, 2060 are National Youth Game have initiated yesterday their last turn. And on the international scene, Manuel Valls welcomed the reconciliation involved in this country where France intervened militarily since 2013.
Those were the top stories. Thank you for joining us. Today we will gonna start this edition with a sad news, which is a fatal accident occurred today toward 3 p.m. to the output of Balambale in Dikhil, a frontal collision between a bus toward Djibouti to its age of passengers and a tanker truck which was headed toward Ethiopia, which has caused at least 3 deaths and several wounded, including 2 seriously injured who have been evacuated to Djibouti, according to the initial information provided by the prefect of Dikhil region, Mr. Mohammed Sheikhu.
The first edition of the National Youth Game of Youth start on 13 February last has initiated the last turn this afternoon with the final contest in the different disciplines. The Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Mr. Badul Hassan Badul, accompanied by his staff and several officials, were able to attend the football final prior to engaging in the crucial of the presentation of the medal prize and other trophies program at the closing ceremony which took place this afternoon. The objective of the presidential to achieve sporting excellence by mobilizing youth around the patriot value seemed to be reached thanks to the beautiful performance of our young athletes. To complete report of this ceremony, the ranking obtained following the final in the discipline of football this afternoon in the male category. The first place come Balbala, the second place is Arta, and the third place from Ali Sabeh.
In his speech, the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Mr. Badul Hassan Badul, said at the end of the commission, "I would like to congratulate the region of Al Sabih for having won the reward offered by the President of the Republic, which is 10 million, but I want also to congratulate the other competitors' outcome of other municipalities." And then he added that, as the President said, those games will detect the young talent and will have today for 19 disciplines 100 best competitor, and this will allow to put in place the support mapping.
And now the summary of the result of the sport in the sport complex of King Farhad. In handball girl, the team of Balbala win the game, which has opposed to the team of Ali Sabih by the score of 2-3. In the team in the main final, it is Razdika which is necessary against Balbala on the score of 12-10. As to the final of the women's basketball, the classification by the team is following. The first place come from Bulaus, the second place for the region of Ali Sabih, and the third place the community of Balbala. In the discipline of football, the female team of Balbala picks up the first place, that of Arta and Bulaus ranking second and third respectively. Here briefly the other result in Petang. In the male category, the first place is for Bulaus community, and the second place for Arta region, and the third place for Obok region. In the female category, the first place is for Bulaus community, and the second place for Arta region, the third place for Dikhl region. In the volleyball discipline, the male category the first place was Arta's region, the second place Dikhl region, the third place for Wazdika community.
I come from Bulaus
category. The first place was for Bulaus, the second place for Ali Sabih, the third place for Dikhl.
We play in the stadium of Stade. We play the judo in here. Thank you very much.
The Minister Delegate to the International Corporation Ali Ahmed Silai visited yesterday in the locality of Medeho in the region of Obok to meet and talk with the elected representative, the notables and the locals of this region. At his arrival, the Minister has been welcomed by the Prefect of the region, Mr. Dabali Hassan Ahmed, and the authorities of the region. The Minister has received a warm welcome to the part of the inhabitants of the locality of Medeho. An important meeting was held by the result between the Minister and the notables of Medeho and the region in general. The Minister Delegate in International Corporation Ahmed Ali Silai has urged these notable and present elected to withdraw their voter card in the light of presidential election are approaching a grant note. It is also collected the grievance of responsible and locals present to subsequently transmit them to the competent authorities and department concerned. The population of Medeho welcomed the visit of the Minister Ali Ahmed Silai, that he thanked the demonstration as much attentive their respect and have all ensured the Minister of their support to the President of the Republic for the next presidential election next April.
The Network of Association of Djiboutian Youth has established the first working meeting this week. The theme which has been discussed during this meeting focused on the land Djibouti city of an census of young Djiboutian at the age to vote but who are not yet registered on the electoral list. A FAR project which will be launched at the national level, Djibouti city and the interior region, which will be led by the technical committee of the associative network. Debate on the modalities and date for the launch of this census project. The leader of the network are expressed in turn by giving their satisfaction and have a promise to take part in this activity in the neighborhood of each member association of the network.
The Association Generation for the Development and the Solidarity, known as the Dalado Ambassador of Peace, held yesterday, 18 February 2016, a workshop for the launch of a caravan of peace in the premises of Bandar al-Jadid. The association has brought together different associations of the capital to make them a part of the interest and importance of the mobilization of a civil society to the consolidation of a peace. Several teams have been developed and discussed during this work meeting between the participants, such as the story of wars and conflict in the Horn of Africa, the need of the conflict and the violences in the neighborhoods. In addition, the action of the government of Djibouti in favor of peace have been dealt with, as well as the role of education in the prevention of a conflict, the role of a civil society in prevention of a conflict, and for the consolidation of a peace. The objective of this workshop is to put in place a national network of association which militates for the promotion and consolidation of a peace. The workshop was the subject of a discussion nourishing around the values and the culture of a peace, in stressing that the role of a civil society, including the NGOs, is essential and a decisive role in the dissemination of a culture and a peace. In fact, the stakeholders have to share and other place to emphasize on the mission of NGOs and associations in the field of improvement of the living condition of the population, and have stated in the particular that it cannot be carried out on the absence of the peace and security. In their intervention, the officials of the Association of the Generation for the Development, the DALADO, have clarified the concept of peace is expensive to any individual born of a giving society, and that the principle of peace goes to first premium an individual himself being in peace with his own person. He also recalled that peace is built through a good education, through the respect of others, tolerance, the culture of peace, justice, and through good works. They have added that it must never be considered peace as something acquired, but on the contrary, have they said it must known that the violence or international conflict can repair at any time it does not care, and that is why we must be vigilant and fight daily against everything that can disturb the peace and social cohesion, have they concluded.
Education now. As each school vacancy, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, Dr. Jama Elmi Ukiye, has organizing through the Center of the Training of Teacher, the fundamental teaching, the launch its platform for training come to a close. Its 30 session for the school year 2040-2050, as well of the training days spread over the week of the holiday, have been provided to a wide public in various that a teacher of small classes on the oral production. The teacher have been equipped for the implementation practices of the oral production in classes. For the medium and the secondary, emphasis has been placed on the evaluation and control of class, but also a harmonization of a new program, particularly in the class of terminal in all discipline to end the primary. As much training organized this week of vacation for the benefit of the student who will benefit to the reception of classes tomorrow on the whole of the country. The director of the Center of Formation and the Fundamental Teaching gave us more explanation of the theme of these ongoing training and explained to us the interest to organize a training for the teacher.
After the Director of the Schools and Education Advisor, the Secretary General of the MENFOB, Mr. Arun Umar Aden, in the presence of the senior official of the department, led yesterday the work of a meeting with the head of the institution in the medium of a secondary schools level in the conference room of the MENFOB. This meeting, which is part of the regular appointment between senior official of the MENFOB and head of establishment, was for the purpose of making the balance sheet and restriction of observations and the founding identify during the visit of inspection and control inspected in college and high schools in the capital and in the region. The Secretary General has extensively recalled the responsibility of a head of institution, the success in the work of establishment or contrary the deficiencies or the malfunction are only a reflection of the level of commitment and involvement of the principal or the headmasters of this establishment. Particularly, he stressed more generally the meeting he added the head of the institution and official of the department to review the copy in performance, pedagogical, administrative, and financial management. The schedules of the basis of the observations made during the visit in inspections. A wide debate and reflection around this point are developed for identifying ways and means to improve the performance, pedagogical training of teachers, the efficiency of administrative work, the school context, and a rigor of financial management. The official of the MENFOB and the head of the institution are managed to common resolution of decision have been taken to make the necessary in order to improve the quality of the work as well as pedagogical, then administrative and financial management of the schools.
Still on the educational news, the training on the reinforcement of the capabilities of manager of school and of the step ward of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training has closed its work yesterday at the CFAAF. This training provided by Mr. Philips Eto, international consultant, fit in the framework of the policy of the strengthening human capabilities of the MENFOB, funding of the project, support to the institutional and management capacity of the education and the training. This training was affect more than 16 managers, has essentially focused on the budget and was intended as strengthen the capacity of manager and of secondary school concepts such as the basis of budgetary management, role of the manager in the institution, the process of preparation of the budget and its implementation, as well as its management and control were particularly addressed. At the close of this workshop for a week, the Director General of the Administration, Mr. Saleh Alwan, recall that the interest of the scope of this training for the leader of the MENFOB, who is responsible for the management of the budget of the institution of the college and high school. He cited the Director General of the CFEEF and the Director General of the Education have in turn took the floor and emphasized the importance of this workshop for an efficient management of the accounting school by adequate strengthening of the skills of the manager and the institution. Let's bear in mind that a second appointment is scheduled next week to train this time the financial director of the MENFOB, always at the center of training of teacher of the fundamental education.
And now, a few weeks of the presidential election of 8 April 2016, the movement of young graduates of active Arhiba have organized this morning an awareness-raising activity on the decision of electoral maps for the inhabitants of Arhiba. This activity took place in the presence of the chairman of the movement of young graduates of Arhiba, Mr. Alwan Habib Arif, and the various representatives of the association active of Arhiba. This day had for objective to raise awareness and make doors to raise the awareness of the inhabitants of Arhiba to take their electoral map to sub-prefecture of the 2nd district. These young people have also proposed to those who are not registered in the electoral office of their get prescriptions for its can vote on 8 April next. The major purpose of this activity was to make understand to all the inhabitants of this district that the participation in the election constitute the expression of citizens. And finally, the young people have thanked the inhabitants of the Arhiba who have welcomed with open arms and have subsequently thanked the director of a campaign, Mr. Ali Gulaida Abubakar, for his constant support.
Let's move on to the regional interior region in Tajura. The Association of Women Committee to the Protection of the Environment has undertaken an evening projection of reportage of the development in the region of Tajura, and traditionally dance is followed by the interactive debate to support the candidate of the UMP, Mr. Ismail Omar Gili, for a new mandate in 2060. This evening is unwound to the sub-prefecture of Doura with the participation of the population of Balho, a strong participation of the population of Balho in the presence of the elect official of the region, including Ali Dini and the Ukal of this region. The president of the association, Medina Salah, has thanked the population of Balho and Haro society and the RTD for working this evening of support to the head of state.
Nous sommes l'association de femmes engagées pour la protection.
Still on the sub-region, it is now to Montego that the Haro company has undertaken the length of a construction of the road Balho-Dora, and already the results are tangible. The work is progressing and has a large note. This company Haro carrying out this section, which measure 13 kilometers. In addition, it has required 16 employees for this loyalty to reduce the unemployment of young of these countries. On 13 kilometers, which is the segment of Balho Dora 8 kilometers, it's already realizing the embankment and its work of without abandonment. The work is day and night without interruption and without release. The prefect of Tajora, Abdul Malik Muhammad Banoita, welcomed the state of progress of the work and has encouraged the responsible for the society and has perceived in this way so that all happens in the best possible condition in order to complete the work within the time speculated. It has also urged the population, local government has collaborate with this Haro company for the interests of all.
And now on the international level, French Prime Minister Manuel Valls on Tuesday described the fight against Islamic militancy as a battle against barbarity. As he visited Mali, where France has had troops taking rebel in jihadist groups since 2013, the country's vast northern stretch continued to the best by a violence having fallen under the control of Tuareg-led rebel and jihadist group linked to Al-Qaeda in 2012. The Islamists sidelined the Tuareg to take sole control, and although they were largely outset by a French military operation in January 2030, extremist group still pose on threat. Today, reconciliation is in progress, say Valls, who visit Bamako, accompanied by the Defense Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian, referring to the peace accord signed by the government and the Tuareg rebel last year. On Friday, Valls will visit Goa, the largest city in Mali's troubled north, to meet with the French troops stationed there as a part of the anti-insurgent operation Barkhane. Barkhane comprised at least 3,500 soldiers deployed across 5 countries such as Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Chad and Burkina Faso, with a mandate to combat jihadist insurgency in the region. Valls will spend 2 days in Mali and will then fly to Burkina Faso, with both of which have been scarred by a recent jihadist attack. Valls is also due to meet the chief of the UN forces known as MINUSMA on Friday, just day after a jihadist attack on its base, killing 7 gunmen, peacekeepers, as well as the head of AU military training mission in the country.
The EU and Turkey will hold a special summit in early March to push forward a deal to stem the migration crisis, the European Council President Donald Tusk said on Friday. The EU leaders meeting in Brussels also unanimously opposed the unilateral action, but a member state after the Austria said it will keep the daily number of asylum seekers. We agree that our joint action plan with Turkey remained a priority and we must do all we can to succeed, Tusk told a press conference after the first day of a two-day European Union summit in Brussels. This is why we have the intention to organize a special meeting with Turkey in the beginning of March, Tusk said, without elaborating the Chancellor agenda and the Chancellor Angela Merkel of the Germany, the EU country that received the most refugees last year at more than 1 million, said the special summit with Turkey could take place on March 5 or March 7. She said the EU must see quickly its major work under the plan agreed at another EU-Turkey summit in November, in which Turkey agreed to cut migrant flows in exchange for the billion euros aid. The pressure for enforce the plan is growing as EU officials said thousands of migrants are still crossing the Aegean daily for Turkey after more than 1 million made the preludes journey last year. The greatest such movement is the bloc is history. This is it for this edition. Thank you for your attention and have a wonderful evening.